this is the first game of a new series I'm trying out for Trench Crusade. This is our first time doing it. So far we've just done single battles, and this one will be a on-channel campaign. We're going to do 4 battles. We're going to have 4 factions. So I think that's going to be 8 games. So there will be 8 videos, 8 video battle reports detailing their journeys. And I think this would be a good way for people who are new to the game, or just people who want to, dive in and watch something while they're hobbying. That's always good too. But it'll be a good way to see how a campaign kind of works, because we'll be going into the post-game stuff, into the advancements and things like that. So it should be pretty fun. There will be a separate video that I'm thinking will be sort of like a primer for the campaign that just kind of goes over it a little bit, probably details all 4 of the starting faction warbands. Maybe I'll write up a little bit of lore stuff just to keep it fun. I think I will pop that video. If I don't really know how to do YouTube super well, but I will try to make it pop up on the screen right now. So it should be up on the screen. I hope that you are seeing it. And if you're not seeing it, then I will put it in the description. So go to the description, or just click on the link to the channel, and you should be able to navigate to it pretty easily. And so without further ado, I think we can get into it. So the Court Warband has chosen the 7 Deadly Sin Lust. Their campaign patron is Infernal Noble. We are led by a Praetor with a Hellblade, a sword, and reinforced armor, just trying to keep him relatively inexpensive to start the campaign off. 2 identical Hell Knights, each with a great sword and a trench shield. We have a Desecrated Saint. Love to see the big boy, and I thought it might be fun to just start the campaign out with him and see if we can beef him up with some upgrades. That is if he doesn't die in this game, so we will find out. He has a Hellblade and 2 swords, and then we just have a Pit Locust and a Wretched. The Wretched has 2 trench clubs, so that means that we are looking at 697 ducats. The Heretic Legion, to start the campaign, is rolling with a beefy list. They have a Heretic Priest with the automatic shotgun, a sword, a sacrificial blade, and reinforced armor. So he's going to be trying to get up close and personal. They're also going to have a Chorister with a sword, a trench shield, and reinforced armor, just trying to stay tanky so that he can be dishing out that debuff. They are going to have a Warwolf, Assault Beast. Glorious Warwolf. We are going to have a Artillery Witch with a trench shield and standard armor. And then we are going to cap it all off with 1 Anointed Heavy Infantry, just rocking a heavy flamethrower. And he's also going to have a 2 swords. Okay, so Heretic Legion has the first activation, since they have 5 models to the 6 for the court. What could be more impactful than dropping an Infernal Bomb on the head of the Desecrated Saint? A lot of good targets over there, but the Desecrated Saint has an aura around him that will negate armor. So I think it's good if we can try to get him off the board. As a reminder, the Infernal Bomb never suffers cover or long-range penalties or gets elevated type of stuff, so just 2 flat dice. All right, and that is a 9, and that will hit. The Desecrated Saint has -3 armor, but since it was a direct hit, the Infernal Bomb is going to roll 3 dice and add them all together. And that is a 12 12 minus 3 is a 9. So that will burn through his tough. And the first activation over here for the court, one of these Hell Knights is going to advance. Something like that. And then he is going to try to dash as well. He gets a 6, and so he will not be going further today. So I think back over here, our chorister is going to advance. He's going to move up about an inch, climb up 2, and come 3 forward. Kind of tuck in here on the objective. Let's see if he can dash as well. Yep, he gets boxcars, so he's excellent. Way more than he probably needed just to kind of pop up here. I think it only makes sense to try to move up this other Hell Knight. He is going to move up 6. Like so. He is going to do his best to dash. And he gets a critical as well. Whoa, wow. I guess wasting all the good rolls on the things that don't matter. He's just going to kind of come up here onto the central objective. Alright, I'm going to have my Heretic Priest advance. He's going to come up here. About there after he climbs. He's going to try to take a shot. Well, no, he's going to try to... He's out of range probably, so he's going to try to dash. Barely gets it with a 7. So he's going to come up here, take a little bit of this sweep cover, and I'm going to check range real quick and see if he can take a shot. Alrighty, so he did in fact have range to the Hell Knight on the objective, just barely 12 inches. So he's going to have 4 dice. The automatic shotgun ignores the long range penalty. Yeah, that definitely hits with a 10, but it also rolls negative dice at long range on the damage. So we're going to be looking at 3 dice, take the lowest, and we're going to be looking at -3. Wow, so the lowest of those is a 2, so that will be nothing. All right, and so over here I am going to just move up my Wretched. It's going to come up like that, and I'm going to see if he can dash. He can with the 7. He's just going to tuck away, where he will probably hide for the rest of the game. We will find out. The werewolf might be. I considered maybe trying to take him down for the center objective, but I think I'm going to just try to dash all the way down and see if I can't do some sort of magical long-range charge on the onto the Wretched. So we will see. He does get +2 dice to dash, so his dash is going to be, oh yeah, far and away good enough with an 11. So he's going to dash 8 inches. And then he is going to attempt a risky charge on the Wretched. He is 8 inches away, so really any number will get him there, but let's see if he first... Let's see first if he can make the risky action to charge someone that he cannot see. That is an 8, so he gets it. That's glorious. And let's see, make sure. Yep, 4 means he's going 12 inches. He's going to have plenty of speed to get there. And all of a sudden, the poor Wretched is having a terrible, terrible day. Okay, so first attack, got 4 dice. This is going to be the Chain Maw. And I'm going to have to mix in 1 black dice because I don't have quite enough red dice all of a sudden. So because this gets +1 dice to hit, so 5 dice. It's not a crit, but that's more than enough to hit that poor boy. And +1 dice to injure, so we're going to be looking at 3 dice to injure. Yep, here's 3 dice to injure. Wow, a 6. Okay, so a 6 on the poor wretched means that he is just going to be taking a blood. That's okay, which I will probably be spending right away on the second attack, because here is the second attack with the Shredding Claws. And this one is also 4 dice to hit. That one hits as well with a 9. And this one is going to be +1 dice to injure. Plus I'm going to spend... Oh, that was also considered an offhand weapon, so I think I should have got -1 dice on that. But that's okay. You live and you learn. So, yeah, +1 dice to injure. Going to spend the blood. Here's 4 dice. He has no armor, so 4 dice. Yeah, that is a 10. So he will be... Wow, that's actually a 10 on... a 5 on every dice. That's weird. Not meaningful, but interesting. So yeah, that will be a 10. That will take the wretched out of action. So the Pit Locust is going to contest that objective / charge. So any speed will get him there because he's fast as heck. And because I like to have a good time, I'm going to rotate them to face each other because that's fun. Yeah, so first attack is +2 dice. As a reminder, the Pit Locust gets an extra attack when he charges. And it also gets shrapnel. I don't believe that the werewolf ignores shrapnel. Nope, he does not. So, okay, so here's 46. And we're looking at a hit with a 10. Excellent start. So just a basic old 2d6. And let's see. 2d6 -3. A 7 to a 4 is a blood marker. But because of the shrapnel, that is going to be 2 blood markers. Alrighty. So that's going to be 2 blood markers on him. And here comes the offhand attack. He does not suffer the penalty for the offhand attack, so 4 dice. That is a 10, and that will also hit. And I think I'm going to spend the 2... I'm going to spend 1 of the blood, because why not? We'll keep 1 blood on him, hopefully to lessen the return attack next turn. So here we go. We're looking at 3 dice. Take the highest, -3 though, so ouch. We got a 10, but -3 down to a 7 is just going to be a knockdown on the wolf. All right, so all that's left for the Heretic Legion is this Anointed. For now, he's just going to tuck away in this building and try to score it, as well as, wait and see what happens to see if he can unload that heavy flamethrower. Desecrated Saint is going to try to stand up. That means movement will be halved. Only going to go 3 inches, so he's going to move 3 inches. Suppose this way. And then he's going to try to dash. Yeah, could spend the blood marker to make it less efficient, but I'll save it. So he dashes. He goes another 3 over this way. Okay, so the Praetor down here is going to try some shenanigans. He is going to try to dash. I could just jump on the objective, but I think it would be more fun to do some sort of bananas charge on that Anointed. So we'll find out if that is a good choice or not. So here's the dash. The dash is a 6. And sometimes when you are greedy and you go for it all, you get left waiting in the dust. And that is exactly what happens to our big boy, the Praetor here. Right, so that brings us to the end of turn 1. Daisy is being a good sleepy pup in the background. Good girl. And this was an interesting one. So far, just 1 wretched bites the dust. But we do have a little bit of scoring here. the court is going to score the central objective. They're going to be contesting that bottom right objective. Meanwhile, the court or the Heretic Legion will be scoring this top left objective as well as this back right objective and contesting that bottom right one. And that means that the score after turn 1 is 5 for the Heretic Legion and 3 for the court. We will come back at the start of turn 2 with a roll-off to see who gets the first activation. Okay, so here's turn 2. We are rolling off to see who gets the first activation. Red is the Heretic Legion, as a reminder. They got a 6, and white got a 2. So that means that the Heretic Legion will have the first activation. First activation, once again, you gotta go for the big time moves when you have that first activation. I was tempted to go ahead and go with the Werewolf and try to smash that Pit Locust, but I don't think the Pit Locust is gonna be any sort of a major thorn in the side to it, or even really much of a threat at all. So I think that what I need to do is try to take the Desecrated Saint out with the Artillery Witch. The Artillery Witch is really like the big heavy hitter in this list right now, with the Werewolf, of course. And so yeah, we're gonna just do that. So here is that roll, 2d6, and let's see if we can land a hit on that Desecrated Saint. Uh-oh, that is a 4 and a 1. So that is actually a miss. That means it's going to scatter 2 inches. I think that means it'll still clip the Desecrated Saint, but it's not going to get that glorious 3d6 add them together setup. So I am going to go ahead and spend the blood. So we're going to roll 3 dice. Take the highest, but it's going to be -3. Yeah, so that's an 8 down to a 5, so that blood's just going to come back. Well, that was not ideal, but hey, you know, we landed a big shot the first turn, and you can't get a big shot every turn. So a good attempt by the Artillery Witch, but that Saint remains up. Okay, so I think it makes a lot of sense to activate the Pit Locust first for the court, because I think it's going to get wrecked here pretty quickly. Yeah, so we're just going to strike. Unfortunately, it only gets the extra shot on the charge, so that means it's just going to have a single attack coming in. This is going to be pretty pathetic. Oof. All right, here we go. It's plus 2 dice. And that is a hit with an 8, which is what we needed. Crit would have been cool, though, but that's okay. And the good thing about this is that it is still knocked down. Werewolf couldn't get up yet, and I am going to spend that blood. So we are going to be looking at 4d6, and we are going to be taking the highest, -3. Oh, that's not great, guys. That is 3, 3, 3, 1. So yeah, that's going to be a 6, -3 to a 3. He's just going to get a blood back. Well, hey, I was just telling you what I thought was going to happen, and that was pretty much exactly as we thought. Well, might as well keep it here, and let's do the Werewolf. The Werewolf is going to get up, of course. So we're going to get rid of that knockdown. And the Werewolf is going to strike first with its Chain Maw. That's going to be 5d6 to hit. Yep. And there's a crit. That's a 6, 6, 4, 2, 4. So it's nice knowing you, little Pit Locust. Let's see how it all plays out. So that's 4. I could have spent the blood to decrease the dice, but I mean, what is it really going to do? Decreasing 5 to 4. So we're going to be looking at 3 dice -2. Take the highest. Oh my gosh. Actually, 4 because of the crit. 5. Okay, so 7 minus 2 is a 5. So that's just going to be a blood marker. Wow, the Pit Locust lucked out on that. Oh no, it ignores armor as well. Duh. Read the things. So it's going to be a 7. So it's actually going to be a knockdown. Okay, so not as bad as originally it seemed. That's okay. So here's going to be 4d6. Here's the Shredding Claws. This one gets -1 dice, I believe, because it's an offhand. Let me know if it does not, but it doesn't say anywhere that it doesn't, so that's what I'm going to do. And that is a 7, so that hits. And we are going to spend the blood to make that 4d6, right? 3d6 for the knockdown, 4d6 for the blood, 5d6 for the +1 dice to injure. Yep, 5. Yeah, so that's going to out of action the Pit Locust. I'm actually going to go with the Desecrated Saint. I'm going to try to move him up. He's going to move up here, take his blood. He's going to try to dash. He gets an 8, which is good enough, and that's going to get him onto this objective. That's an expensive, beastly objective holder, ladies and gentlemen, but points are points. Okay, and this anointed over here is going to try the Rambo move, is what I'm calling it. This is going to be bananas, but let's see if he can do it. Yeah, essentially he's going to try to go crazy and flamethrower both of these guys, but to do so, they are within 6 inches over here, the Saint and the Praetor, but in order to get over there, I need to do a dash and a move to get close enough. And so let's try the dash first, because if I fail, I'll just stay on the objective, and that's not so bad. But I do not fail. I get the 9, so it was meant to be. So he's going to dash over up here, and then he's going to move. Come up here like that. Oh boy. It's the first flamethrower shot on the Desecrated Saint. Spending the blood. His tough is gone. This could kill the Desecrated Saint. It ignores armor. Oh man, this would be quite a heavy blow to lose the Desecrated Saint for the court. Let's find out. A 7. It doesn't do it, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, heartbreaking, but that's the way it goes sometimes. Oh man, that's a bummer. So yep, that is just going to knock him down. So he gets knocked down, the Saint does. Oof. All right, and here's the shot into the Praetor. Ignoring armor, it's an 8. Oh, dang, so that's going to be a knockdown. And a blood. Wow. Oh, he came up short. He really tried. He tried so hard, ladies and gentlemen, but that is the way it goes in the trenches. All right, well, the Praetor is going to go next. He is going to stand up. He is going to spend 1. Or he is going to get up and spend half of his movement, is what I meant to say. And his speed is now 4. He is about 9 inches away. Wow, so he would need a 5 to charge. So I'm going to have to try to dash first. So let's try to dash with the Praetor. Uh-oh, this has failed him before. Let's see if he can do it. And he fails again with the 5. Oh my gosh. All right, he will stay right there. Wow. Just wanted to pop on it real quickly and mention that it feels like I should have played Sloth. Wow. All right, we're going to try to make a big time move here with the Heretic Priest. He is going to try to dash forward. Oh yeah, that is a 9. So he is able to dash. He's going to hop over here. Hoo-yah! cruise on down here like a real hero. He's gonna blast with his automatic shotgun, point blank range. And it's gonna be +1 dice to hit, so he's gonna have 5 dice to hit. All right, here comes 5 dice to hit. Oh, and he got the crit as well. Boom, boom, boom. That is awesome. So we are looking at a crit on this Hell Knight on the objective, which means that we're going to be rolling 3 dice to wound. We are in short range, so no negative. So just a straight up 3d6 automatic shotgun. A 10 -3 is 7, which is going to knock down that Hell Knight. All right, that's a start. It's a start, ladies and gentlemen, because you know the heretic priest needs to start showing everybody who's the leader here. And he says, I am the leader. So he knocks down the Hell Knight, puts a blood on him, and then he is going to charge in because that automatic shotgun has the assault keyword. Well, either of those would do it. One fell out of my hand on accident there. He charges up onto the objective. And he's going to swing first with his sacrificial blade. No, actually he's going to swing with the sword first because it is not risky. So, and the sacrificial blade is risky. So what we're looking at is going to be 4 dice here. 4 dice into the Hell Knight with the sword. Let's get another crit. That would be nice, hey? Wow, that's about the worst roll you could ever have. 2, 2, 1, 1. So very good thing that we didn't roll with the sacrificial blade. Otherwise, his heroics would have ended right there. Holy smokes. All right, so the offhand is going to be sacrificial blade. That means it's going to be rolling 3d6 to hit, -1 for offhand. Oops. And it pulls it off, okay? So it does hit, but no crit. Crit would have been pretty cool too. I'm just screwing this whole thing up, but that's okay. And so it's going to be +2 on the injury result. He is downed, so 3d6. I am going to spend the blood for 4d6. And yeah, it's going to be 4d6, +2 on the injury result. So +2 from -3. It's going to go -1. So -1 on this. We got an 11. So it actually, I think that his armor might, I'm not sure. I can't remember. Either way, it takes him out of action, but I can't recall if the Hell Knights have a special thing where their armor can't be reduced by things. But the shield certainly can. So even an 11, even -2, is still going to be a 9, and that's out of action for that Hell Knight, which is very, very cool. So long to him. And then one thing I want to check here. Okay, so one thing I want to check, what I want to do is I'm going to also try to make a risky action in order to Puppet Master. And I'm going to try to Puppet Master that Hell Knight a little bit farther away. So 7, we got it. Let's see how many inches. You can go 2 inches, so that's not ideal, but we'll still take it. So 2 inches. We're going to just kind of swing him back. Let's push him back. Something like that is okay. All right, and that was a pretty heroic little action for the Heretic Priest getting in there. All right, so then we just have that Chorister and the Hell Knight left for this round. So let's go ahead and do the Hell Knight. He is going to try to charge at this fella. Yeah, so... Yep, so even a 1 would get him there. It's going to put him right there. Double check how many dice the Hell Knight gets. I think it's +2, but it might be +3. Hell Knight is +2. So that's going to be 4d6. Swinging in with the big old great sword. Ooh, okay, and I'll have to keep in mind, I can spend the blood marker off of the wolf, if I so choose, to get an extra dice on this, on this one, because of his blood magic. So let's see if I hit with 46. An 11 will definitely hit, almost a crit, that would have been cool. This is a great sword, so it's going to be 3d6. I am going to spend the blood off of the wolf to use the blood magic to make it 46. So 46, here comes the great sword. And we got a 9. A 9 minus 2 is 7, so he will be knocked down. All right, that's okay, that's okay. And I'm gonna try to dash, only so that I can hopefully try to remain in close combat with him, but get onto the objective. Barely, all right, but that is enough. So I will put him right there. So he is now on the objective. And then we will just have the chorister coming up. But the chorister could rush down there and start stabbing at the Hell Knight as well, but I think the points is worth more. So we're going to stay over here and yeah, we're just going to try to go for the points. The chorister actually has no ranged weapon because his ranged is god-awful. He just likes to hold severed heads, it seems like. And he doesn't actually have a head, so maybe that's why he's not good at shooting. Yeah, so that will be the end of turn 2. That is the end of turn 2. Oh, that was a fun one. A lot of unpredictable stuff in that case, like the Praetor just being allergic to getting into the battle and doing anything. He just wants to fail his dash every time, jeez. But the casualties are starting to rack up for the court, and so I think they're actually going to have to make a morale check. Okay, and so since the Praetor is still on the board, they're going to have 3d6 for the morale check. And they are okay. They want to keep fighting. So the scoring for this round goes as such. The court scores 2 here, plus 1 for the center objective, so that's 3 points for them. The Heretic Legion scores 2 for back there, 2 for this for 4, 1 for this for 5. So they score 5 points. And here we will go into the start of turn 3, where the court will have the first activation. The Desecrated Saint is going to stand up. He is going to try to charge into the Anointed. A 3 will be enough to get him there. Just going to put him right here. And then he is going to probably just murder this Anointed, but let's find out. Alrighty. So here's the Desecrated Saint swinging with the big old sword. The Hellblade will not be able to get an extra dice because it's a fire weapon, and the Anointed has the Infernal Brandmark. So it'll be -1 dice to injure, but first it's going to be +3 dice to the attack roll. So 5 dice. Yeah, that's a hit with a 10 for sure. And then it's going to be just a straight 2d6 because it doesn't get the extra for it's -1 and +1. So 2d6, ignoring the armor though, because that is my aura of lust. So a 7 is going to knock him down, put a blood marker on him. Alrighty, let's keep him going. Here comes the sword. So here is our off second sword. None of its weapons are offhand attacks because it has many arms. So here's 5. Yeah, and the sword gets a crit, which is juicy. So that's going to be, we'll mark them up right here. 2d6, +1 for the crit, +1 for the critical keyword, +1 for being down, +1 for the blood marker. No armor, so just flat. All these dice, a 9 will take him out of action. So long to the anointed. And finally, someone falls for the Heretic Legion, which is lovely. And then the Desecrated Saint is going to try to just dash and plop back right on the objective. And he gets it with an 8. And the Artillery Witch has gone first every round, but not this time, because this time I think that I want to stand up the Heretic Priest. Well, actually, before I stand him up, I'm going to see if I can out of action this guy and do the one where I take him out of action while I'm on the ground. So let's see. This one might come back to bite me, but it's for the glory. So what we're going to do is we're going to get +2 dice. He is going to spend the blood to make him 3 dice. So this is going to be 3 dice. I am going to swing with the sword first. So the sword, that means we've got a 9, and a 9 hits, but no critical. That's okay. And then that means we're looking at just 2 dice, -2, actually -3. So a 5 is going to take him to a 1. So a blood will go on to him, like so. And then I am going to try to swing at him with my sacrificial blade. This is going to be my offhand, so it's going to be 3d6. Oh no! It's risky, so that ends the activation, and there was so much more to do. You might be watching and saying, no, but that was your offhand. That was all there was. No, it was so far from all there was, because my plan was to hit him with that. If I didn't kill him, then my intention was to puppet master him out of combat to take a free strike and hit him again with the sacrificial blade. If he still wasn't dead, I was hoping to move him over here so that the werewolf could finish him off. And now all of those plans are ruined. And the icing on the cake is I didn't stand up because I was trying to get that glory. The risky ended my activation, and there I am, still laying on the floor. All right, so I guess we might as well have the Hell Knight go. The Hell Knight is +2 melee, I think, is what we looked up, right? Let's see. Hell Knight. Where are you, Hell Knight? Yep, the Hell Knight is +2 melee. So I'm just going to roll the red even though, so I'm screwing up the dice thing here. But this is the Hell Knight attacking the knocked down failure of a Heretic Priest. So 4d6. Barely gets it. That's a 1, 1, 4, 3. So he hits barely. I should have probably spent the blood, but I forgot, so that's okay too. And this is going to be 3d6, 4d6 because he's knocked down, 5d6, 5d6. No, that's my blood. Goof. Okay, 4d6 it was. So 4d6. Oh man. And he got the 2 6s. So that is going to burn through his tough. So he will be knocked down and his tough will be gone. That's pretty good. All right, so my Praetor has made a real mess of things, but he's going to actually fly and move. So before dashing, he's going to come up here. Then he is going to try to dash. He finally gets it with a 9. And he is just selflessly going to try to screen the Desecrated Saint so that hopefully his big old wings and himself will make it so that the witch can't shoot at the saint and finish him off, because that would really suck. Okay, and then it was only the Heretic Legion activations remaining. We have the Werewolf, the Chorister, and the Artillery Witch. So the Artillery Witch is going to try to lob a bomb into the Praetor. She hits him with a 7. And we're looking at 3d6. Take the add them all together. So, wow, that is a 7. So all of that just for a knockdown. Uh-oh. Okay. That's okay. Sometimes that's how it goes with the Artillery Witch. And now we have the Chorister and the we have the Chorister and the Werewolf. I think victory points at this point are second to killing, so I'm going to try to go finish off that Hell Knight. So first thing I'm going to try to do is dash. He always dashes with +2 dice, which makes him quite reliable usually. I'm going to more or less just move this out of the way for a second. Yeah, that's more than enough. And his charge is going to be more than enough too, so I'm just going to put him in here. Like that. Like a beast. And then we're going to have +2 dice, so we're going to be 46 on the Chain Maw, plus 1 more, 5d6 on the Chain Maw. So here we go, 5d6. Yep, that definitely hits. And then we have a bucket of good things going on here. We have +1 dice to injure. So we're looking at 3d6 to injure. Gonna spend the blood marker to make it 4d6 to injure. It ignores armor, but 2 of that armor can never be ignored, so it'll be -2. But that is still an 11. And 11 minus 2 is 9, so down goes the Hell Knight as well. Uh-oh. Oof, this is a bloody one. And so, yeah, I think the Chorister is just going to stay on the objective and score points. Okay, so at the end of turn 3, this is what the board looks like. We have the court scoring 2 points. Meanwhile, the Heretic Legion score 4 points, and we're going to have a morale check coming up here. And at this point, since this is a campaign, I think losing the Desecrated Saint would be catastrophic in the first game of the campaign. So the Praetor is going to voluntarily bottle, and they are going to flee the battlefield. So this victory will go to the Heretic Legion. We will come back with some post-game stuff. Okay, so thank you for watching Battle 1 of this new Dice Lab Trench Crusade campaign. The first step in the post-battle sequence is the injuries. So in this section, we're going to determine the extent of injuries for each warrior who went out of action, and we're going to mark down any scars. The way that this is done is for each elite warrior model taken out of action during a battle, you need to roll a d66 for each such model after the battle ends and consult the injury chart. So let me get to that injury chart. Okay, so for our first elite model who went out of action, it will be our first Hell Knight here. And we're going to roll a black dice and a white dice. The black dice will be the tens column. So we got a 13, which is severe nerve. All actions this model takes are now classed as risky actions. Yikes. Alrighty, so next we are going to move on to Hell Knight number 2. Cool boy with the big old shield. Once again, blacks will be the tens column. We have a 15, which is lost an eye. So this character suffers -1 dice for all its ranged attack actions. Yeah, so excellent. Good thing that he probably will never have a ranged weapon. Okay, so the next part is all of the non-elite models. So any non-elite model that went out of action, we're going to roll the d6, and on a 1 or a 2, they are dead. On a roll of 3 up, they survive. So that's never fun if they end up dying on a 1 or 2. And all of their equipment would be lost. So let's go ahead and start with the Wretched. Of course, our most valuable Wretched survives, as makes sense. How about the Pit Locust? Wow, Pit Locust survives as well. So Court got off light, but how about the Anointed? All right, and the Anointed survives too. So very fortunate that no one dies here. That's really about the best you can ask for in these campaigns. Second is the experience and advancement phase. So heroes gain experience for surviving battles. So each elite model that took part in the battle and survived, even if they were taken out of action, will gain 1 experience point. So that is awesome. Once they get to 2 experience points, they will get an advancement and get a new skill. So that'll be cool, but that won't happen until after Battle 2. For right now, though, okay, so now there's going to be a promotion dice pool for non-elites to potentially promote to elite. Your pool starts with 1 die in it, and you add 1 die if you win the battle. You also get +1 die for each glorious deed that you accomplished. You may have noticed that no one accomplished any glorious deeds. That's a bummer. The heretic priest certainly tried his best, trying to kick at the Hell Knight from the ground, but to no avail. Otherwise, he would be leveling up and getting an advancement right now. So that means that the heretics will be rolling 2 dice, and let's see, if either of these are a 6, a model will be promoted. I am going to pick the... I'm going to pick the Werewolf. All right, so let's see if the Werewolf can become an elite. All right, and the Werewolf does, in fact, become an elite, and you love to see that. And now, let's roll for the Court, and we're going to roll for the Desecrated Saint to see if he can become an elite. No, he cannot. Okay, so next, your Warband's threshold value will go up. In this case, it will go up to 800 ducats now for each of these 2. They can request reinforcements, and you can replenish your Warband's losses until its total value matches the highest current Warband threshold value if you wish. You must first empty the Warband treasury by giving up all the ducats and stored gear you have and skip the exploration step. So you might be asking, why would you want to do that? Well, in these cases, you wouldn't want to do that because the exploration phase is awesome and you want to do that as much as you can. Really, the only time you would want to request reinforcements is, say, for example, the Desecrated Saint got destroyed, or the Werewolf, or the Praetor, and they died permanently. That's a lot of ducats to be losing. So in a case like that, you might just choose to kind of re-rack and request reinforcements and redo it. But in this case, we're not, so we're going to go into looting and exploration. Okay, so here is the exploration phase. The first step in the sequence is to determine the number of exploration dice each player has. This is done based on the battle number of the campaign, and then there are a few other ways that they can be added by different exploration skills and things like that. But in this case, battles 1 and 2 will roll 3 exploration dice. So I've got my 3 dice here. Each warband starts out with the reroll skill, so they can reroll a single die. So yeah, let's see how it goes. Okay, so the exploration will be done for the Court first. 3d6, they can reroll one of these dice once. That is an 8 plus 2, so 10. That is 10. A 10 would be Fallen Soldier. You find the body of a fallen soldier, half gnawed by rats. still clutching some of their possessions. Add a ranged weapon from your warband's armory that costs 15 ducats or less, a combat helmet, and standard armor to your warband's roster free. Then roll a d6. On a 4+, add one of the following to your warband's roster for free: first aid kit, mountaineer's kit, or a shovel. Well, here's the tricky part. There isn't an entry for every number rolled. Only some. And if you don't get a number that correlates to a location, then you get nothing fun. You still get the ducats, but you don't get any fun extra. However, I think I am still going to re-roll one of those 2s. So yeah, let's see how it goes. Well, it was meant to be that it's a fallen soldier for the court. So the court just finds a fallen soldier and they're going to get those things. The total of that roll is a 10, so you multiply that times 10, and that is how many ducats they get added to their roster. So they are going to get 100 ducats plus all of the loot they found off of that fallen soldier. Okay, and so here is going to be the exploration roll for the Heretic Legion. Well, that was pretty good, because the higher you roll, the more ducats you get. So that is a 15. However, a 15 is not any of these awesome locations on the chart. One other fun thing to mention is this is the common exploration location table, and there is also a rare exploration table and a legendary exploration table. So as you can imagine, those have cooler and cooler things on them. The real question in my mind now is, do I try to reroll the 4 in hopes of getting the bonus of finding one of these locations, at the risk, very likely, of losing some ducats? I think I'm going to do it. So let's see. And I do. I lose 10 ducats because I get a 3, which takes me to 14. Which means I find a map and document bag marked with carefully concealed signs. You find a hidden map and document bag. You gain the reroll exploration skill. I already have the reroll exploration skill, but it does say that you can have multiples of any of the skills. So now I'm going to be able to reroll 2 dice in the exploration phase, which actually is pretty good. So I think that's worth the trade-off of 10 ducats. So that means that the Heretic Legion are going to be gaining 140 ducats, as well as an additional reroll skill. All right, so after the exploration and looting phase, we go into the hire new recruits phase. This is where new recruits are acquired with your ducats to get you back up to that warband threshold value. You can buy equipment and you can rotate equipment into your armory. After that is going to be the trade phase, where you can... Oh, whoops, I combined those phases. So there's a hire new recruits phase, and then there's also a trade phase. Hire new recruits, you buy the new recruits. Trade is when you buy the equipment. You can also sell any surplus weapons, armor, or equipment, receiving half of the base value from the merchants. Then there's a use glory points phase, where you can buy things with glory points like mercenaries or weapons, if you earned any, not like these sad sacks. 9 would be reallocate equipment, so you can swap equipment around. Last, you're going to update your warband roster, just getting everything all tidied up. So I am going to do those off camera, and I will update you at the start of the next battle with these guys, so you can kind of see what has been updated. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope this was a fun time. I hope you tune in for more of these campaign battles, and we get to kind of see how it all goes. Please, if you would like, drop an awesome name for each of the leaders in the comment section, and whichever one gets upvoted the most, provided it's not something ridiculous, I will, maybe even if it is something ridiculous, we'll see. But I am giving myself an out just in case. I will then name the leaders of these warbands that. So, all right, guys. See you next time.